Hi guys, this is Rob from PlayStation Access, and today I'm joined by Olivier, the European producer for Soul Sacrifice. Hi Olivier, how are you doing?
Hi Rob, I'm fine.
And first of all, we're going to take a look at this battle here with the Jack-o'-lantern. Now, I use this black right here called Infernus, and when I first used it, I was like, oh yeah, amazing, kick-ass fire spell. I'm going to absolutely win this fight now. Not really realising what the cost of using that was going to be, and in the next fight I found myself losing because half my defence had gone. So these are black rights. They're not, they're kind of like really powerful spells with a twist. So can you talk us through like the risk-reward side of using a black right?
Yeah, well, I mean, this is like the epitome of the underlying logics and game mechanic in the game, which is you sacrifice something to gain something in return. So the black rights are the most powerful forms of spells that you can use.
Yeah.
And the cost for using them is much dearer than anything else. Mm-hmm. You can only trigger your black rights once you've lost a fair amount of health. Mm-hmm. So it's very much a go for broke option that you've got.
So would you say you use a black right as like a last resort, or?
Yes and no. I mean, you can organize yourself. You can, if you play with friends, then you can use it as like a part of your strategy, because some enemies are so strong that they will only be defeated if you use one or several black rights on them. Although if you've used your black right already, then you will have to endure the cost of that black right use until the end of the level. Then if you survive, you will have to undo and to pay the cost of that use by spending lacrima.
And talking of lacrima,
yeah,
that is this fluid you obtain through the eye of a talking book.
Yes. Why the hell not? It's lacrima for the Latin savvy is basically tear in Latin. So those are the tears of Libram. It's kind of the like the magic fuel that you use to either undo the cost of black rights.
Here, it costs quite a lot of lacrima to undo a black right as well. So if you're low on lacrima, it might be a while.
Well,
before you
yeah,
can
yeah.
undo
You've
it
got
as
to exactly. You've got to really bear in mind just how much how debilitating your the cost could be if you had to go into another level, still paying it. But you can use them also to repair some spells if you've abused them. So if basically you've used them too much and you basically broke the ability to use them during a level.
Mm-hmm. And also, I wanted to talk about the offerings that you get as well in the game. Now, these aren't just spells that are there and then they kind of stay with you and you can use them however many times you want. You've also got to really think about how and when you use those spells as well, because they do run out and you have to renew those as well. Is that right?
Yeah. Yes. So you've got different ways of renewing your ability to cast them. So in a level, you'll find some artifacts, some magic artifacts that which will basically kind of replenish your magic ability, meaning that if you were about to lose the ability to cast a specific spell, then you get a few more goes at that one. You can also replenish your magic ability by sacrificing. So every living form in the game can be sacrificed, whether it's your allies, the enemies, the archfiends, anything that's living in the world can be sacrificed or can have its soul laid to rest.
And that mechanic, that saving or sacrifice mechanic, seems to be the cornerstone of what the game is run on. I mean, here I'm sacrificing this monster, which kind of boosts my offensive magic. And my character's quite a balanced character, but if you wanted, you could concentrate solely on just sacrificing and become like a really, powerful magician, or you could, concentrate on saving monsters and, become a really good defensive support role.
Exactly.
In the
To each their own, really. You surely you will find some gamers out there who, like for in any game that has this kind of dual morality system, will go for either like one or the other.
Yeah.
Like all or nothing. Some won't be too bothered by it and will just should try a bit of everything and maybe find a balance somewhere. If you try and go in one specific direction, let's say like you save everything, you're the good guy, you're the angel, then you might find that because your offensive stats do not go up that much by doing so, then you will struggle against some stronger boss characters. But again, what you lose in offensive ability, you gain in defensive one. So you could basically be there and make sure that your allies keep on attacking, and you can heal them, or you can grant them like all kinds of boosts if you want.
I was going to say in the 4-player co-op especially, I guess it'd be very useful to have someone who's very high support.
Oh yeah, I mean in 4-player, I mean, I do recommend that you play this game with friends. You play these games with like-minded people and communicate and organize yourself before going into a battle. This is very much a game to, like knowledge is very much is power for this. So you need to spend a lot of time, kind of experimenting, going into the portraiture and looking into the character customization, just playing around, like tweaking the spells in your satchel.
I guess knowing your enemies as well, knowing their elemental weaknesses, because of course you can. There's this. One of my favourite magics is this at the moment, the Fire Giant's Arm, which is when you get the Giant's Arm and combine it with ice or fire or thunder to make an elemental version of that spell. So I guess knowing the elemental weakness of your enemy is crucial as well.
Yeah, the elements, it's kind of the classic, scheme whereby, ice is effective against heat, heat is effective against venom, venom against stone against shock, volt, it's that sort of this like electricity or magical electricity element, and volt against ice.
Okay, so this battle here was one I found particularly challenging against the Harpy character, who not only is it's got loads of health and is very powerful, but has the ability to fly as well, which kind of rendered a vast majority of my spells completely redundant. I couldn't bring it down. So have you got like any specific offerings that are specially tailored for hitting aerial enemies?
Yeah, I mean you've got like a whole category of offerings which are projectiles, like aiming projectiles, which are like ideal for these sort of enemies. I mean, usually you want to use. You probably won't be able, especially at this level, you won't be able to do a lot of damage to any airborne enemies. But what you can do is make sure that you damage them enough, or you connect, your attacks while they're in the air, so that they fall to the ground and then are usually much more vulnerable.
So getting them on the ground is the key, not going into their mouths like I've just done.
Yeah, I mean, that's not recommended. Again, that pattern there is, is explained in the lore. I don't know if you took the time to read about her, heartbreaking story of love and rejection. It's those. All those archfiends have got, specific behaviors at different points during the battle. So this is something that you need to understand very quickly, so that you can exploit it the best you can. She's kind of protecting her, her belly, because she's got this like gaping hole in there. Her curse was that she could never be satiated ever. Because she kind of gave way to gluttony, and anyway, I'll pass you the details. I'll leave you to read the story. But so this basically now is like her main characteristic is that she's protecting her belly, and when she's about to attack, then she will open it, or when she grabs someone and eats them, then she spills them out afterwards. You haven't got a lot of time to move in for melee attacks.
Yeah.
So it's something that's probably easier to organize in multiplayer, where you can really just organize yourself. And set different roles and combine simultaneous attacks from different angles.
Yeah, I did find in multiplayer when I fought the Harpy as well that when one of us actually got eaten, it provided a good window to hit her.
Yeah.
She was kind of like stationary for that period of time.
Mm-hmm.
So which ties into the theme of one of your party can often sacrifice themselves. You've got that actual mechanic in the game, but obviously taking a hit for the team,
Yeah.
and then if things start to get really bad, you can launch another type of powerful spell as well as the Black Rites, which is to just completely sacrifice yourself, and that also launches a really powerful spell as well.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can. So whenever you fall and you're basically about to die, you've got three choices. You can either beg for mercy and basically ask for any of your allies to revive you, which would basically mean that they would have to share half of their health points with you.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can choose death, or you can also choose to be sacrificed, which bears much more severe consequences than when you choose to use a Black Rite, because you basically use the rest of your life energy to trigger this really powerful attack.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and the last thing I wanted to talk about in terms of the story is this the main antagonist, Magusar, because he, like many of the archfiends in the game, isn't a character that was evil right from the beginning. What can you tell us about Magusar? What's his story?
Well, I'm afraid you're going to have to play the game. I mean, a lot of the campaign is actually about the story of Magusar and Libram. Yeah, so the story is basically there's two main parts to it. There's your relationship with Sortiara, and the kind of doomed story that this is, and thereafter your relationship with Magusar and how the partnership evolves and the outcome of it, which I'm sure will surprise a few.
Well, thank you very much for talking to us, Olivier. That was really
My
exciting.
pleasure.
And don't forget, if you want to try Soul Sacrifice for yourself, the playable demo is available to download right now on the PlayStation Store, and your save file is transferable over to the full game when it launches on PlayStation Vita on May the 1st.
And you get an exclusive offering as well.
You do
from
indeed.
the demo. Woohoo!
Thank you very much for joining us, Olivier. See you soon. Bye.
Bye bye.